Welcome to the Marketing Boost Solutions Podcast. Join host Marco Torres, co-founder of MarketingBoost.com, along with expert guests as they deliver incredible, proven solutions to your marketing challenges in each power-packed episode. Captain Marco has guided thousands of entrepreneurs, growing their sales and marketing through the use of value-add incentives. His Facebook groups are home to more than 84,000 entrepreneurs who are raking in sales with his advice. Get ready to be blown away with game-changing lessons for your business.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Marketing Boost Solutions Podcast, where we're here to bring you valuable content, value bombs on ideas and mindset and business coaching to help you grow your business and take it to the next level. Today, I've got a special guest that I'm excited to hear from because I am also very interested in exactly what he does so that I can improve what I do, especially on YouTube advertising. Benjamin Jones is our guest today from down under in Perth, Australia. Benjamin Jones is a serial entrepreneur and international speaker. He's been able to educate thousands of people over the last 5 years and help them harness the power of online marketing to grow and scale their business. He's been an online marketer for over 7 incredible years. He's not into titles, so we'll leave that as B. He's the co-founder of the business called Youth in Business and Titan Marketer. He loves to talk about how kids can earn money while they're still young, and also wants to share how to grow your business with YouTube ads. So folks, help me welcome Benjamin Jones to the stage. Thank you, Benjamin. Say hello.
Wow, thank you very much. Awesome, Marco. Glad to be here. Thank you so much for having me. Hopefully we can provide you guys with heaps of value today and value bombs and get you guys all set up and growing and scaling your businesses with YouTube advertising.
You bet. Yeah, I'm excited. I've seen your ads on Facebook and I've watched you grow with your business over some time, and haven't pulled the trigger on contracting you to help me, but I was looking at your stuff and going, you know what, this guy really seems to know what he's talking about, and wanted to get you on our show. So start with, tell me about how you got to where you're at, how you became an expert at YouTube marketing, and maybe some of the case studies that you've done for your clients. I know you actually use, many of your clients are using travel incentives. For those of you who just came on to Marketing Boost Solutions real quick, let me give you a quick update here. What is Marketing Boost? Marketing Boost is we provide travel incentives, the wow, delight, and surprise factor, so that our members that use Marketing Boost can use our travel incentives to add value to whatever their call to action is, to be able to use them for lead generation ideas. And we have our complimentary hotel stays, restaurant savings vouchers, and hotel savings cards. You'll learn about more than that later on if you go to marketingboost.com. But before we do that, we were talking, or before we went live on this broadcast, that Ben has clients in Australia that are using travel incentives to boost their sales. So maybe we can get into that later. But Ben, tell us your story. How did you become an expert? When did you first start using YouTube? And take it away.
Yeah, cool. So YouTube was definitely something that we grew into, if that makes sense. So, I mean, the cool thing these days, like we've done millions of dollars in YouTube ads across a wide variety of industries, like you name it, service-based, e-com, like it doesn't matter, coaches, consultants. YouTube ads will work for pretty much any business out there. My journey and how I got started with that, basically I was, like everybody else, spending a lot of money on Facebook ads and managing that myself. At the moment, at that time, we'd bought a whole bunch of online businesses. I was managing those. And I also ran the other business we were talking about earlier, like Youth in Business, teaching kids how to start businesses. We were doing events and filling rooms and all of that cool stuff. And then as you're probably well aware with Facebook, I lost all my ad accounts as I was leaving on a trip to China. It's kind of a big deal because you can't check any marketing in China, right? Like it's over. So I literally, like, rooms are booked, everything's done, no leads coming in, whole business just ground to a halt. And I was like, this is wrong. I need somewhere to get my leads in other than just being solely reliant on Facebook for paid advertising. And so that's what we did. We basically got a person in my team to start running some Google ads. I hired an agency while I was gone. And then what we found out when I got back was this kind of before VPNs and stuff, is that we were actually doing a better job than the agency that we just paid thousands of dollars for. So I was like, well, hang on a second, we could probably do this. And so we did. We started doing like the whole Google platform, and we were teaching people for a long time on how to do YouTube, Google advertising. Next thing I knew, we were like speaking on other people's stages and speaking to different people and whatever. And we found that most of the clients that were coming through, 80% of their budget was being spent in YouTube, and we were doing the same. Like most of our budget was sort of right into YouTube, because that's, of all the platforms, that's where you're going to get the best return on your ad spend, right? And the reason for that, literally at the moment, only 8% of marketers in the US are actually spending money on YouTube ads. So it's an absolutely amazing time to get in. It's probably where Facebook was like a decade ago, which is pretty exciting. And I'll probably talk about that in a little bit. But my journey there was basically, really enjoying the way YouTube ad platform worked. There was not really a lot of people there. And to this day, it's still, big, massive blue ocean. So we've been playing there. Probably I've been screaming how cool YouTube ads are from the rooftops the past couple of years now. And it's been working really, really well for us and also all of our clients, which is really fun.
I'm in the same boat. I'm one of those clients that we've spent millions of dollars on Facebook ads over the years with multiple companies that we own. We've actually invested over $70 million in Facebook over the last 10 years. With that kind of money, I should know Mike Zuckerberg. I should have been on one of his private flights here and there, but never met the guy.
Yeah, nah.
But anyway, then iOS 14 and iOS 15 came out, and it was like, bam, Facebook was never performing quite the same. YouTube ads, we haven't figured it out. So we do some and we dabble with it barely, but tell us about that opportunity. What does it take to be successful with YouTube ads? What's the big difference, for example, between Facebook and YouTube to make them effective?
Oh man, they're such a different platform, right? So like YouTube is, and the users are going there for something different. So I think there's a couple of aspects to why YouTube ads is better. I think one of the big ones is it is just a big, massive opportunity, right? So for example, if you were to look at an adoption curve of like any platform, and they all go through this, you start off with your early adopters and whatever else that picks up or the majority comes on, you have your laggards at the back end and the whole deal, right? Now at the moment, sort of YouTube's at the beginning of that curve. So right now, if you go create a new Google Ads account, so if you weren't aware, YouTube ads is part of the Google Ads platform. Google will literally give you $500 US just to create a new account and to get started and start playing around with YouTube ads, right? When was the last time Facebook threw you $500 of free ad credit when you spend $500 to get started with Facebook? Like the day after never, right? So that's where the platform is. It's very much at the beginning of its thing. Like I said, only 8% of the US market is actually advertising on YouTube at the moment. So it's literally where, say, Facebook was a decade ago before it got oversaturated and all the other updates came through and whatever. And if we go back a little bit further in time, that's exactly what happened with, Google search ads, right? When it first came out in the 2000s, everyone was on it. It was fantastic. It got super expensive overnight. And that's where that, now it's one of the most expensive platforms out there. And you could go back even further and say, look, email open rates aren't what they were in the 90s, so on and so on and so on, right?
Right.
And so I guess timing is a big thing with these platforms and knowing when to get in. And right now, like, the best time to plant an oak tree is like 100 years ago, right? And in this case, it might have been like a couple of years ago to get into YouTube ads. But the great thing is it still is at the beginning part of that trend. They'll still give you people money to get started, right?
Now, what sounds amazing to that, I mean, YouTube has been around for a while, and it obviously has, billions or or millions of viewers, and it has the audience. Why is it, do you think, that, like we've done Facebook ads? What do you need to do differently to get a call to action on YouTube? Because as you say there, I mean, the views are there, the audience is there, people are watching, and I guess YouTube doesn't do if people still aren't advertising, like you say, only 8%. Is that because we're all experiencing, a difficulty in trying to get the audience who views your ad, to actually take action?
Yeah. So yeah, you're 100% right. So there's a couple of things there. So one is the biggest mistake people make when they come to YouTube is they treat it like Facebook. And that's problem number one. The other problem is the ads are wrong. But the reason people don't get started with YouTube ads is because they have to create a video ad. So on Facebook, you can create, lead form ad, or you can create just an image-based ad and away you go. But to create a video ad that converts is a little harder so there's an area of complexity to that, right? The other issue is you have to understand the platform. So YouTube ads, why do people go to YouTube? That people go to YouTube to learn something or be entertained, pretty much. Like, you're not scrolling through looking at what people had for lunch and cats, for example, right? So the ad has to be different. So if you're using an interruptive, salesy Facebook ad, video ad that you've created that converts really well in under a minute or something on Facebook, and you try and put that on YouTube, it just seems too fast, too salesy. It's not what people are there on the platform for. Does that make sense? So
yeah, it does. I think that kind of explains our whole failure. In other words, we're taking what we succeeded with on Facebook, putting it over on YouTube, and seeing, flat out failure, and then not understanding the difference.
Yeah, we see that. That's probably the number one thing that we see, particularly people with big budgets who've got Facebook ads to work. When they come to YouTube, they're like, well, I can do exactly the same targeting that I did on Facebook, and I've got this ad. Why isn't it converting here? And people get frustrated, right? And I think that's a very common journey for a lot of people. Whereas what does work, if it's okay, I can share that.
Please do. That's what we got you here for.
Yeah. So there's probably two parts to that. Like, what the difference it needs to be is one in the ad and one in the targeting. So I'll talk about the ad first, and then maybe we can explore the targeting after that. So the ad really needs to help people entertain. So for example, we're finding ads around the 2.5 minutes work really well, or to a minute if you can get your message really tight. So that's sort of the length that you're looking for. We have a 4-part series of the ad, like sequence of what has to be in it. The first part is the hook. That's number one. Now, if you're watching YouTube, you've got 5 seconds to skip an ad, right? We've all seen it. You're like, hey man, I want to get back to my content. You're waiting those 5 seconds. And that's the hook. That's the bit where you need to say something that best hooks out there that you could do. We've got 10 different types, but I'll just give you the best one straight off the top. Is something where people will agree with you and say a rhetorical yes. So for example, one that we use would be, are you sick and tired of burning money on Facebook ads and you just want ads that work, right? Well, yeah, I do, right? Like twice over. So then I've asked them a question, they've agreed with me, and then I can go into my next part. Now, there's lots of different hooks you can do, benefit-laden ones, fear of missing out ones, problem-based ones, all sorts of different hooks. But it has to capture their attention. That bit's really important, okay? The second part that you want to do is what we call an elevator pitch. Now, this can be as long or as short as you like. We usually say within about 30 seconds. Now, the reason for that is how you're charged in YouTube versus Facebook, okay? So in Facebook, man, you're charged by impression, and you're charged like either 3 seconds for a video view on a video ad, or 15 seconds if you do a 3-play ad, right? So that's how you're charged in Facebook. In YouTube, you can get up to the first 30 seconds for free. Okay, that's literally twice the amount of time. So this is where you want to have a bit of an elevator pitch and show your authority a little bit, okay? So an elevator pitch, if you're not aware, like if you're just listening this first time and you're new to sales and marketing, elevator pitch is like a mini sales pitch. Like, let's say that you wanted a promotion, you went to the top floor, you worked in a high-rise building, you went to the top floor with the CEO, you had like 30 seconds to get to the bottom and pitch and then get a promotion. That would be an elevator pitch, right? Now, what we would do is we would say something like, my elevator pitch might be like, hey man, email open rate sucks, Google ads are your search ads are super expensive, and Facebook ads are about as reliable as a politician's promise, right? That's how I would start the next bit. The next bit would go something like, hey, this would be my elevator pitch. We've generated millions of dollars with YouTube ads over a wide range of industries. If you'd like to find out how that works, click on the ad. So I might put a call to action or I might not, okay? But that's not my whole elevator pitch. It's just a really quick one that I use as an example. But you can see quickly I've established credibility. I've talked to them about their exact problem, and I've shown them a solution really, really quick, right? So that bit's really important. Then what you want to do is you want to back it up, okay? And that brings us to part 3 of the equation, and that is the story, okay? Now, this is a story where you want to help people, okay? Now, if you can help people in an ad, I guarantee you, when they get to your landing page, they're going to like you way more than if you've just, promised this big outcome and they get to landing page and it's a letdown, right? Like a salesy ad. So you want to help them in the ad. So for example, I might talk about, here's why YouTube ads are cool. And I might say, hey, only 8% of business owners in the US are using them. It's the perfect opportunity right now. I might say things like, hey, there's that you can target people based on income. You can't do anything else. You can do all these other cool things, right? If that sounds like something you think would be a good fit for your marketing, and then you move into your close. And that's the fourth part, okay? So the fourth part of the ad is the close. Now the close is literally, would go something like this. So if you would like to, whatever the big promise or whatever you put in your elevator pitch, grow your business with YouTube ads, whatever it is, have a reliable and profitable, scalable business model, whatever it is you're selling. All you need to do is click on the link here. It'll take you to a page that looks like this. Show them the page so there's no surprises when they click. And, whatever your next part is. And we look forward to seeing you there. End screen. That's it. That's your whole YouTube ad. Okay. Now, can you see how that structure is a lot different to, say, a salesy problem agitate solution solve ad that you might run on Facebook, for example?
No, yes, absolutely. And as a matter of fact, I think at the beginning of this conversation, I mentioned that I saw you on Facebook, but I recall I did see your YouTube ads first. And now it's coming back to me how and why your ads hooked me. I remember I did, I'm certain I did fill out your call to action and looked into more information about you. And then we eventually started chatting on Facebook, etc. But yeah, powerful. And then those stories, when you're suggesting this for your clients or for those listening, is it typically, like the voice or the owner of the company just, chatting away, showing some visuals, but this is a conversation on YouTube, or this is kind of a professionally put together video? What would you suggest?
Yeah, that's a great question. I guess we get asked this question all the time. It's like, how detailed do the ads have to be? Do they have to be like Hollywood style? What's the best way to do it? Do I need to hire an actor? I don't really want to be in the ads. How do I do it? Right. And that really depends on the business. Like if you're a coach or an expert and you're the face of the brand, I suggest you be in the ads. Right? If you're not the face of the brand, and you're just a service-based business or something like that, like a solar company or whatever, you might have one of your employees do it, or real estate agents. Sometimes they get some of their real estate agents to do it, or however it might work. Here's the thing though, do not create Hollywood style ads, okay? Because you have to think about the content that's on YouTube. The content that people are watching are literally like, me and Marco doing this podcast interview right now. It's just people literally just shooting content off their phones and going from there, okay? So you'll actually do yourself a disservice if you do high-end quality, unless you're like there was an exception to the rule. Like we had a high-end photography brand that worked with Canon. So of course they had to have like a high-end thing, but pretty much everyone else, like if you don't fit that, I would literally just shoot. Like me personally, and probably 95% of my clients all shoot their ads off their phones. Okay. So you can just shoot your ads off your phone and go from there. Now you can do them in a couple of different ways. Walking with a gimbal, you're walking where they walk backwards from about the waist up works really well because you get a background moving. And when you've got your scripts, just read one line at a time. That works really well. The other thing that you can do is, like I've shot ads literally sitting here like this, probably with my headphones off, just shooting an ad, worked fantastic. Okay. And just share my screen, show people how things work. I've shot some over there by that painting, over by my bookcase, like just literally be you. And that's the most important thing. Be authentic and try and help people. I think Frank Kern nailed that when he was like, the best way to help people is actually help people, right? So think about that when you do your ads. Come across as real and authentic. At the end of the day, people want to do business with real people. So don't create Hollywood style ads. Now, the thing to that is, look, if you did want to create and you just had no one to put in the ad and you're an e-commerce brand and you're like, there's no way I'm talking about this. What do I do? In that case, what you could probably do is go to Fiverr. It's fiverr.com with 2 R's. And you can find people who literally record a video with a green screen behind them. It'll cost you like $100 for them to read a script. We actually did this with some of our US marketing. So when did some of my US marketing, my accent was a bit of a drama because I talk fast and I sound English, even though I'm Australian, right? So like, I get that. And so what we did is we actually hired these like quite attractive young women to shoot the exact same ad in the same script, and it had amazing results. So who would have known that, you know, beautiful women, people would rather listen to them than me. So that's one of those things. So it doesn't have to be you, right? It doesn't have to be you. It does. If you're the face or brand of the business, though, it does help. So yeah, there's a few examples.
I'm sitting here scribbling notes away, and that's probably one of the good ones I need to take away with you. Instead of me being the ugly face of the business, I need to start hiring some good-looking women to run my ads.
Yeah, literally, you can find some on Fiverr for like $100. I'll read all your scripts, and it doesn't look as cool because it's not moving, and you can tell it's, even though they're like good actors, you can tell it's not as genuine. Like it comes across that they don't 100% know the content. So,
right.
But you know, if they're willing to watch more of it, then, you know, it's one of those things. So yeah.
Yeah, you might be able to edit it up with a combination of you, the face of the business, and your actress, maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. So that's a lot of powerful points there. My takeaways is, you know, those, again, reiterate here, the first 5 seconds is what you've got to grab that first hook. It's got to be powerful, got to be an affirmative yes to get them to, just before they hit that skip button, they're going to stick around a little longer to watch the next 30 seconds, which is free, as you mentioned, on YouTube ads for the first 30 seconds. So if you can get them staying through the first 30 seconds, and then beyond that, that's when you can start to, you know, make some money and start paying for the ads. Step 3 is the story. And in the ad, you know, here's actually help people with something, provide content that's helpful. And 4th, your call to action, your close, etc. Powerful. Now, setting up the ads, what am I typically needing to invest in some ads before I'm going to see some activity? What do I need to prepare myself mentally for on what I'm going to spend before I start figuring out some successful ads?
That's a great question. So the ads and targeting, you probably want to run together. So you want to test ads and targeting. So the targeting side's super powerful on YouTube. You can do some stuff there you just can't do anywhere else. I will answer that question, but I might come back to that if I can.
You know what? Hold that thought, and let's take a break for our sponsor, Marketing Boost. We'll be right back, folks.
It's time to wow, surprise, and impress your clients with the most powerful customer draw card available anywhere. The Marketing Boost Solutions Show is brought to you by Marketing Boost, where you can get valuable travel and restaurant incentives to drive your leads from prospects to paying customers. Now you can offer complimentary hotel stays in over 130 destinations worldwide. Go to marketingboostsolutions.com and try it for free right now.
Welcome back to the Marketing Boost Solutions podcast show. We're having an amazing conversation with Mr. Benjamin Jones, the expert at YouTube marketing. This is content that I'm really enjoying today, as it's one of my goals to get better at building my YouTube audience, my YouTube subscribers, and actually have my YouTube channel and my ads be generating leads. And Benjamin Jones is talking to us exactly on how to do this. Benjamin, welcome back to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Marco. Absolutely amazing to be here, and look forward to sharing some cool stuff with people.
Great. So we were just getting ready to talk about ads and targeting audiences, and what would be the expected investment that I should be prepared to make before I start seeing some successes carried away.
Yeah. So basically, if you're running your campaigns correctly, you should be getting results within the first month. It's a very different platform to Facebook, where it's like, hey, hope and pray for 3 months and maybe you'll break even. Like it's just completely different. So you should be basically a return on ad spend in your first month. Like that's, it might only be like 1 or 2 or something, but in the next month, you should at least get to 3. Like we have a rule that we don't actually help people who can't get a minimum 3 times return on ad spend. Okay, that's really important. particularly with any sort of paid advertising. I don't care where you're paying for advertising. If you're buying leads from the moon, like you need to be getting a 3 times return on ad spend. Otherwise, you actually can't scale and run a business. Now we actually have a whole bunch of like marketing calculators and stuff we give away, so you can put your business in to make sure it's going to work before you start. I highly recommend that. Okay. And so first month, you should definitely get a return on ad spend. In terms of how much you need to spend, I would usually test, like, it really depends on how many leads you want. Like if you're in lead gen, like let's say you're doing webinars, events, book a call, sales call, something like that. Or even if you're just looking for leads to come in that your salespeople can ring up, or, you know, you're a small business that wants to ring up leads. However that works, you need to understand a couple of things. Like one, how much does a lead cost you, or what are you willing to spend? And how quickly, how many leads does it take you to make a sale? So for example, if I know like 3 leads at $50 takes me to a sale, that's $150, right? I'll quickly know that, hey, well, I really need at least sort of $500. I need that client to be worth $500 for that to work, right? Probably an easier one would have been if it was worth 100, you know, in leads, then I need to be at 300, right? So figure that bit out before you run paid ads. So that's the biggest mistake we see. After that, once you got that sorted, basically it comes down to targeting, and the YouTube targeting is just amazing at who you can actually target. So you can do some really cool things on YouTube you can't do anywhere else. And this is why a lot of people fail when they come over from Facebook, is because they only do half the deal. Okay. They target that top genuine layer of interest of people who are like, hey, I'm really interested in, you know, so what you do on Facebook. I'm a 35-year-old woman who loves cats, chocolate, and surfing. Okay. Show them my ads. Okay. Now, what you've missed there is that's like the top layer of YouTube. You've missed the bottom 2, which is the most important. So the next layer down from that is actually income. Why don't we target that same woman, but we have a premium offer? You know, we only want to target people in the top 10 or 20% of income earners. Okay. Now that's pretty powerful. And the reason for that is one of the biggest sales objections you'll ever hear in any business is, that sounds really great, but we can't afford it right now. So if you can take that out completely before someone's even clicked, that's amazing, right? So that's another reason why YouTube ad leads are the best quality leads ever that you get on the internet. And that's just,
Let me
level
stop you
2.
there and get you to repeat that. So on the YouTube targeting, there's ability to select income levels as to who I want to run my ads for, regardless of
Correct.
where the ads are plugged into, what videos they're watching. I am targeting by income.
Yeah. And Facebook tried this for a while, but couldn't pull it off. And the reason they couldn't do it, they actually took it off their platform, because they didn't have the same data points that Google, but Google owns YouTube, right? So let's get that sorted. They don't have the same data points. And when you think about it for a while, like what does Google know about you? It knows everything on your browser history. It knows, you know, that's kind of scary. It knows any location that you go on an Android phone, any apps that you have on your phone, knows all your Google Calendar appointments, anything on your Google Drive, anything in your Gmail, you know, just to get started, right? So Google, you're in a relationship with Google, whether you like it or not. Now, that's super scary as an individual, but as a marketer, that's amazing, right? And this is the other question I get that's related to that is, well, how come iOS 14 didn't affect Google like it did Facebook, right? Well, it did affect Google a little bit, but what you need to understand is, like, of the data pool that Google has on an individual, like that might have only been like 5 or 10% or something, right? Whereas on Facebook, it was everyone with an Apple device, which is half the universe, right? So that's why it just sent them, because they don't have the infrastructure Google has. They have to pay for their third-party data to come in, right? So that's why it doesn't work as well. So coming back to targeting, like, how do they know what your income level is? Like, that's a big question we get asked. Well, how do they know that? Well, they put all those data points together, and it's actually really scary. You can actually go to Google right now and type in, maybe not right now while you're listening to this podcast, maybe do it, you know, after the podcast, but you can go in there and go, hey, you know, I want to download all the data Google has on me. I don't know, just type that into Google. I downloaded mine. You can actually download it from your browser, from your Gmail thing. I had hundreds of thousands of documents, data points and documents that I had on one of my user profiles. So, like, the data they have is just beyond scary. So
wow. And obviously, as a marketer, that's a gold mine. So, and you can't even get that with the pay-per-click model, because there you're waiting for them to search you. And on YouTube, you are kind of like going back to the days of direct mail. You are targeting people that you know, okay, I want them, in this demographic, this income level, this, so on and so forth, which we are missing the boat on, with only 8% of the marketers using YouTube correctly. Wow.
Correct. Yeah. So that's like, when I figured that out, I was like, man, this is amazing. So that's really cool. And a lot of people, when they come over to YouTube from Facebook, don't even realize that's a thing, right? Which is sad. So if we come back to what I was talking about before, so the first thing was we have that genuine interest, like you do on Facebook, that lady who liked, 35-year lady with 2 kids who like cat surfing and chocolate. Then we're like, hey, look, we want to sell her a premium surfboard or something like that. So, maybe one that's wrapped in chocolate, I don't know, but they need to be in the top 10% of income earners, right? Because we want to have golden laden cats on it or something, right? So you could do that. And then the next thing that you want to do after you've done those 2 things. Now, if you just did that, that'd be pretty powerful, right? That's way more powerful than you're ever going to do on Facebook in terms of targeting. Now, the next section is where it just really takes it to the next level. Like, this is really the 80-20 of the whole thing. And that is targeting people, right? When they're ready to buy, when they have intent. Okay. So this part of it, this third part of it, if you think of it like as a funnel coming down, I have like a graphic for it, but you can imagine this is part 3. This is where you target people based on intent. Now, what's really fun is I'll just share 3 things you can do here. I could probably talk about this one topic for about an hour and a half, but let's just keep it nice and tight.
I may need to bring you back for a second episode on that. Okay, so intent to buy, the 80-20 rule. Awesome. Continue.
Yeah. So this is where, like, the other big objection that you're going to get in any sales process is, well, it's just not the right time. Okay. So the first one is, I just can't afford it. And that we've solved that with the income. The next big objection in any sales process is, oh, it's just not the right time right now. Now, imagine if you could take out that objection as well. Now, how would you do that? You'd have to find someone who is literally looking for your product or service. Now, at the moment, the best place to do that is with Google search, like being able to, someone typing in, I want this exact product or service, and you put your ad in front of them. The problem with Google search is it's the most expensive traffic on the planet, right? Google search ads, you pop up at the top of Google, you have to compete with the top 3 or 4 people. Everyone clicks the top 3 or 4 ads, right? So you're literally paying for a click that's been clicked 4 times with other people. And it's really, really expensive to get it to convert. It works, but really expensive. Okay. Now, what you can do is, because Google owns YouTube, you can still target those same people typing in those exact same Google search phrases. So you can target people typing in, I want your business. How do I get it? Right. And then what you do is, let's say they're looking for, marketing, or they're looking for, solar, best solar installation, or they're looking for the best haircut or whatever, right? In that local area. Now, what you can do is, when that person goes to YouTube, you can then show them a video ad. Okay. Now, the cool thing with that is you don't compete with anyone, and you get the first 30 seconds for free. And what we're finding is that the clicks that come from that are super dialed in, because those people have searched on Google and you're now showing them a YouTube ad. And here's the best part. When you compare it to what you'd pay in Google search ads, like the cost per click, it's between 1/4 and 1/3 cheaper. Okay. So yeah, it's really cool. So we have like a lot of high-end people who are spending a lot of money on search, like Google search. Like they're spending a lot like in software development or legal or whatever, where the clicks are just like out of this world crazy, right? And they're able to come over and do YouTube ads, and they're able to do it at 1/3 cheaper and have way higher conversion rates, because they've been able to watch a video instead of competing with the top 3 clicks.
That is the value bomb of the day. Nice. Okay. So,
and that's not even the coolest one.
And this is all in the Google Ads settings, if you know what you're doing, to start digging down into the additional audiences that you can target.
Yeah, really cool. So that one, like, I really recommend, like, for example, if you just did that, if you just did a really cool ad and you targeted the people who are actually searching within the thing, do you think you're going to get a heaps better quality click than say someone searching around on Facebook with just interest level. Like you cannot even compare the two, right?
Exactly.
Now, the next thing that you want to do is, we call this ethically stealing your competitors' traffic. This is literally the funnest thing ever. I love doing this. So what you would do there is, there's two ways of doing it. One is you can ethically steal their YouTube traffic, and the other one is you can ethically steal anyone who goes to their website. Okay. Now, because Google knows what websites people are going to, pick out your top 5 competitors, for example, and their landing pages. Okay. Now, anyone who goes to their website or their landing pages, I want to show those people my YouTube ad. That's like the coolest thing. That's like the coolest thing ever. And if you want to take that to the next level, what you can do is, anyone going to, let's say we use, here's one we use, like CRMs, like, because we want bigger businesses, or not bigger businesses, but businesses that have a CRM, right? That are spending money on ads. Now, instead of just going to like HubSpot.com or Salesforce.com or Keep or Infusion, whatever they want to call it this week, right? What we do instead is we go to the login page. Okay. Now, people who are visiting the login page are the actual users. They're not the people they're trying to get in sales, right? So now I can actually target the users of that. For example, another example might be people who log on to ClickFunnels, not the ClickFunnels landing page, for example. Okay. So if you employ those sorts of strategies, you get a bit smarter with it. Like, we got one client who's kicking it out of the park, and one of his best targeting options is a government website that talks about all the information that he deals with, right? So like, what websites can you target, competitors or not, where your ideal client is visiting, but they don't even know that, like, you know, they're visiting sites on that, and then you're showing them ads, right? Like, it's pretty powerful. So that's one way of stealing your competitors' traffic, which is kind of fun. So then the minute I figured that out, I was like, oh man, this is a total game changer. The second way, and how you supercharge that, right, is you find a competitor who's figured out how to pay for marketing with Google search ads, the most expensive platform out there. Let's type in your most ideal keyword, whatever it is, right? And there'll be advertisers at the top. Click on those things, go to their landing pages. Now, they're paying for the most expensive traffic from Google at a crap conversion rate to their landing page, and you can just swoop in and show them a video ad at 1/3 of the cost. Fantastic. So that's
unbelievable conversation we're having so far. I've got so many notes here. It's powerful. Speaking of CRMs, let's take a moment and pause for a commercial break from our sponsor, Automation Booster. You can see on the back of the screen here if you're watching this video. We'll be right back.
Is your business on autopilot yet? Do you have automation in place to capture, nurture, and convert prospects into clients via email, SMS, ringless voicemails, appointment setting? Get all the inbound and outbound marketing tools in one place. Go to marketingboostsolutions.com for more on automating your business so you can make money while you sleep.
Welcome back to the Marketing Boost Solutions podcast show. We're having a great time and talking about YouTube ads and how to ethically steal your clients, your competitors' leads, how to target people landing on login pages, and just so much powerful information. Thanks again. Welcome back, Benjamin Jones, the expert in YouTube marketing. Take it away, Ben.
cool. Thanks for having us, Marco. So there's so many of these things I could talk about, right? I'll just share one more really cool targeting strategy, because I could talk about targeting all day long. So far we have the Google search strategy. Now you can actually piggyback that with YouTube search as well. Like, you can target anyone who's searching on YouTube. So most of their searches on YouTube start with how to. So we'll just band all that in one big category. Then we were talking about how to ethically steal competitors' traffic. So how to steal people's traffic who, like, what landing pages people visit. The other one that you can do is you can target any YouTube channel or video. Okay, so pick the top 5 YouTube videos in your space, whatever they're about, and put your ads directly on them. Okay, that's game changer, because those people are intent. They're literally watching videos on the exact problem that you solve, right? That's amazing traffic. The next one that you can do is actual channel placements. So let's say that you're a coach or an expert or something, and I'll use some bigger names. So you can literally go, let's say you're some sort of coach. So you can literally go to names like Tony Robbins, Grant Cardone, you could do Marie Forleo, insert your favorite guru here. And anyone on their channel, or even maybe one of their playlists or something, you can actually target people who are watching their channel. So these big influencers have done all the work to get them there to talk about a topic, and then you can just show them your ad straight away. So I think that's pretty cool.
Let me ask you another question. What about lookalike audiences like Facebook? Is there such a thing on YouTube?
There is. They're called similar audiences inside of the Google Ads platform. Now, the cool thing with the big difference here, though, disclaimer, the big difference between lookalike audiences and similar audiences. So Facebook, basically, you give it the data, or you tell it the data that it wants, and then it will find people within like 1 or 2% or 5% variance of those people, right? So the way it works on Google Ads is very different. So how it works there is it says, hey, if you give us this big email list, or if you give us this people who watch content on your YouTube channel, which is amazing, by the way, contacting those, or people who've subscribed to your YouTube channel or whatever, what we'll do is we'll create a similar audience of that. And when it's big enough, we'll let it feed out. Okay. So for example, if I had a YouTube channel that had 5 videos on it and like 2 subscribers, it's not going to create a lookalike audience or a similar audience of that, right? It's just not going to be big enough, right? However, if I had a bigger channel, then that would be fantastic. Or if I had a whole bunch of leads and sales that were coming through, or people who visit my landing page, it'll quickly create a similar audience of people who visited my landing page, or my conversion pages, or my email list, or my database, or whatever. Right.
So you can upload like the email list of existing clients or existing opt-ins and what have you to your email base, and it will help you find audiences similar.
Correct, 100%. Now, on that though, uploading email lists to Google Ads, this does change all the time. You do have to spend a few $1,000s on ads before you can upload your email list, because otherwise people will just. It's a bit different to Facebook. Like Facebook's got the attitude of, if you spend $1 in their platform, they're going to spend the whole $1 and they don't care where it goes. Whereas Google's kind of a bit different. They're kind of like, your ads have to be good and this is good. And if we like you, we'll let you.
Yeah, well, yeah. Facebook, when you start out now, they do also have, they don't let you do a lookalike immediately. So they do,
okay.
They do now make you spend a little bit and get to see your ads and so on before they let you load up a lookalike audience. But
there you go.
Okay, that's interesting.
So yeah, so I'm probably going back into the days of my earlier days in Facebook. But yeah, I mean, really these days we just use Facebook for remarketing. So
true.
That's all.
It's a good point, a way to do it. You get them first on YouTube and then remarket them on Facebook and so on.
Yeah.
Very cool. So what about building do you see value in building having a YouTube channel and trying to acquire subscribers and what have you?
Oh yeah, look, that's fantastic. Let's be real. Like the best type of traffic ever is warm traffic. Like if they've been watching your content and they're involved in who you are, then that's fantastic. Building a YouTube channel is very different to running YouTube ads, though. They're kind of two. One's creating content and an audience. The other one is targeting the right audience with paid ads. Like one is like, hey, I'm going to spend a whole bunch of time creating a warm audience. The other is like, I'm going to spend money and I want my money back right now.
And that can be done. The beauty of what you're saying with YouTube ads is you don't have to make this commitment to be building a channel, loading constantly, uploading content, trying to be relevant under everything, about your business or what have you. When you can instead start your ad campaign and run ads on everything under the moon, as you mentioned, your competitors' pages, wherever you believe your audience lives, what channels they watch, what gurus they follow, on and on and on, targeting them by income level, by competitors' landing pages, opt-in pages, rather login pages.
Yeah, it gets really fun.
I'll bet. Very, very cool. This has been a powerful conversation today. We're coming up on about 45 minutes or so. What would be, Ben, let's talk about how people can contact you if they'd like to learn more or get some of the free content you mentioned that you provide. Tell us where they can go and get some of these free tidbits of information and downloads of information they can get from you and your team.
Yeah, cool. So, I mean, all the different resources I talked about today. So we actually give away all the like how to write your scripts, templates, all the marketing calculators I mentioned earlier. I think we give away a whole template on every targeting option that's pre-built inside of YouTube ads. I think it's 4,727 of them or something crazy. So that's all like, you can go to our website right now. We have a free thing. You just like name, email, just download the whole thing and get started. We know that we can help people heaps more if we just get them started, right? The other thing is that we do have free training. We do these live, so at the moment. So they're usually on a Tuesday and a Thursday if you want to hop on one of those, where we explore this in much more detail. And we actually give away heaps more cool resources on the free training as well. There's no sale at the end of the free training either. So other than that, with people who want to have a chat with us, we do have like a $97 strategy call if you want to do that. Realistically though, we're looking to work with the right people, not everyone. So I'd probably suggest you just start with the training and you start with the downloads and stuff like that, get yourself started. Hopefully I've been able to give you guys enough value to like have some cool strategies to have a play around with at the beginning of this. If you look up TitanMarketer.com, so just Titan Marketer with an ER, not Titan Marketing, Titan Marketer, that is us. And or if you want to connect with us on LinkedIn or something like that, just type in Ben Jones and the word YouTube or Benjamin Jones and YouTube, and I'll pop up. So yeah, hopefully I've been able to help you guys in some way. And if we've got some free resources and things that can take you to the next level, that would be fantastic. So
the link will be in the notes below. So that was Titan Marketer?
Yep, .com.
TitanMarketer.com. Yeah, we'll put that in the notes as well for everybody to go look and grab. This has been a great conversation and training. Benjamin, I look forward to, let me ask you this before we wrap it up. Your perfect client, the ones that you do work with, who are they? What are you looking for someone to actually hire you to, I mean, I really appreciate the fact that you provide free training, you provide helping people get started. You're not always on sales mode in those training, trying to upsell them and close them, and you provide free PDF downloads, information that people can, take away and start going with, including how to use I think you said how to use chat GPT on how to get writing your video scripts. Is that correct?
Yeah. So that's coming out actually this week. I think it might have come out already actually. I did a whole training on how to actually write these scripts, like how to get the really cool YouTube ad script to be written in minutes and what the right command prompts are to put into ChatGPT to make that work. I probably spent like a week just like figuring out the right commands so we were happy with it. Because the biggest thing is copywriters are expensive, right? So how do we transition to the next thing? But ChatGPT is very much like good information in, good information out, right? So you got to give it good stuff for it to spit out the right thing for you, and you got to ask it the right questions. So we have all the command prompts that you're going to need to do all of that in minutes. That's also something that we give away as well. So yeah, so we're more like, we just want to help as many people as we can transition from, the pain of Facebook or like marketing that's not working over to YouTube. In terms of like who we're looking for to work with, look, we're looking to work with anyone who can do a 3 times return on ad spend. That's really big to us. That's why we do the calls, because we only help people that we can help, right? So we jump on a call. The first thing that we do on a call is we work out, are YouTube ads going to be profitable for you before you even spend a cent? So if the answer to that's no, we'll say, hey, go fix this and that and whatever and come back. Because
a lot of businesses, what they don't have set up is the infrastructure to start with. Do you have a process of generating a lead, following up, setting up the, getting them to book on your calendar? Do you have a sales team in place that's going to be able to take those leads, make those phone calls, get them on your Zoom calls, convert them? If you don't have the processes in place just yet, then spending the ads might be a bit early. So I get where you're going with that.
Yeah, and a lot of people do, and that's the biggest problem we see. Like, we have people who come to us and like, we spent $100,000 on ads, and I was like, well, that was silly. So There are some things that you need to fix before you can really run ads, and that's why we do the calls that way. We're not in it to just sell $1,000 course to someone who can never really run ads anyway. So it's just not our business model at all. So we only work with people we can genuinely help. If we can't help you, we'll tell you what to fix. Go fix it, come back, and go from there. So yeah, so we're a little bit different in the way that we operate that. So
very cool. Very cool. Well, folks, thanks again for listening to another episode of Marketing Boost Solutions podcast. I hope you got as much as I got listening to Benjamin Jones. I think this is probably almost one of the most powerful episodes we've had yet, with all kinds of value bombs, tips, and ideas on how to build your business via YouTube ads. And being that only 8% of the marketers out there are effectively using YouTube, the opportunity, as Benjamin pointed out, is huge. If you can figure it out, you want to go to titanmarketer.com to download a number of free information there. And we'll be looking to see if we can bring Benjamin back more often to the show. Thank you, folks, for your attention, and we'll see you on the other side. Stay thirsty, my friends. Thanks for listening to another episode of Marketing Boost Solutions Podcast with your hosts, Captain Marco Torres. Now it's on you. Take the next step now. Go to marketingboostsolutions.com for more on how you can wow, delight, and surprise your clients with the most amazing draw card on the planet. So stay thirsty, my friends.